Welcome to King Street Records. This is Dub of the Week. I'm Cultivated Mind, and I've got some very special guests today. Big up and massive respect to Mr. Ed Dredd and I-Gabe of United Souls in the building.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Feels good, man.
Yeah, man.
It's a pleasure to have these cats in here. Mr. Gabe is coming in done a tune today, Tried Y'all Love, which is a United Souls banger, a wicked tune, and it's going to be coming out on this episode. So
yeah.
I hope you enjoy the tune coming up. But before we get to that, we're going to get to know our artists a little bit and see what these guys are cooking up over the next few months and kind of get where their influences are from. So we'll start basically. Everybody's got a seed that gets them into music, whether it's family, maybe they picked up an instrument one time at a store, whatever it might have been. For you guys, what was the initial thing that got you into music in general, just as appreciating it?
I guess you would start with a marching band and high school marching band. We always loved the band, and we were both drum majors in the band, and a lot of the members were either drum majors, drum captains, or some type of flag captain or something in the band. So we just had that regiment thing going, and the counting thing was real good and easy. And that's what we started out with, and played funk music and hip hop with the drums and got the crowd moving. So
you were a drummer as well as a bass player?
Drum major.
Drum major.
Yeah, so what we did is, at high school band, you try to get the crowd pumped. So we just did the same thing with reggae, just try to get the crowd hyped, man. Try to get the team going.
Yeah, man. Same vibe, man. Like 757, you know what I mean? This joint is heavy, you know what I'm saying? Marching band, just music, period, you know what I mean? We got one of those kind of storybook kind of vibes, man, where the trumpet he played in high school was the trumpet I played in middle school. You know what I mean? So it kind of moved forward. So I was a drum major at my band, and you know what I mean? We're 5 minutes away from a historical black college. So it was a show vibe that we always tried to emulate. You know what I mean? Like when we go to see, other cats, like you could tell when you were feeling music and when you were feeling music. You know what I mean? So the inspiration is, like I said, it started there. Gospel music, man. I played in the church. You know what I mean? So a lot of the church musicians, when we would vibe, man, outside of church, we were trying to play any and everything we could. You know what I mean? So that led to R&B, that led to hip hop, that led to, you know what I'm saying? I'm an 80s baby, so I grew up on all of that, man. And, digging in my cats, my family's records, man. So my inspiration goes from 45 records, 8 tracks on over, So nice. I couldn't list one artist, man.
Nice. So the fact that you guys went through the same drumline program, like
different schools.
So schools.
Completely different schools. I'm People's High School, man.
All high school.
I'm Warwick High School. See, what it is he's my cousin.
Newport is in the building.
Yeah,
sir.
He's my cousin.
Yeah.
And I started it all. He grew up with it. He grew up walking around with me. He's seen everything, and he was little, I was big, and finally he grew up, and he's taking over now.
So it's like first generation, second generation kind of vibe.
Yeah, I think a lot of people know that the band's been around, but I don't really realize how much of a family tradition the United Souls band really is.
Yeah, it gets a little heavy. It's deep, and we like it like that. You know what I mean? We got a rotating cast of musicians and drummers and sound man, and it creates the show. You know what I mean? It creates the vibe.
Now, I've seen you guys a good handful of times, and I think every show has been different, impressive, and you leave feeling like you were just at, like, I don't know, you went to the gym or something.
Yeah.
You leave feeling cleansed, like you just had an exercise. Nobody's standing around, everybody's dancing. You guys are always really great about bringing up different people, whether it be singers or ladies who have had a few and just want to get on stage and dance. I've seen that as well. And you handle those situations quite well. But yeah, I'm always impressed by the shows. Nowadays, there's so much music out, and there's so much to distract people from music. I'll admit, I'd sit and watch Netflix and bullcrap I shouldn't too late at night instead of doing the things I should musically. But what is it that drives you and keeps you focused now currently to make music? Is it just the joy of playing? Is it the creative aspect? What is it right now that's fueling your passion?
I think in these Corona times, man, like having to take a break, it's really been just realizing that recording is key, man. So, you know what I mean? We play a lot of live shows, man. We played, if we couldn't count them, man, we'd be here all night, man. You know what I mean? But it's really like the recordings are what really, really make it worthwhile when you can sit back and look at a project and work and say, you know what I'm saying, this was a for lack of a better word, a book I wrote, or this was a, you know what I'm saying, this is my stamp, this is my fingerprint that nobody else has but me on this, and it'll live long past my years, you know what I mean? We all got kids now, you know what I mean? So our drive was different then than it is now, but to know that you can come back with a project and you let your kids hear it and get their approval, that's a drive for me, you know what I mean? Because, you know, if the kids love it, then you got something, you know?
No, I feel you. There's something cool about someone asking about an uncle or an aunt and you've been able to say, well, you can hear them.
Yeah.
Popping it, you know, well, I don't know if you're going to be popping things in anymore. Clicking a button or whatever. Yeah.
On the joint, yeah. So it's just, you know what I'm saying, like my inspiration, man, is just really knowing that what I'm doing now will live forever. You know what I mean? Especially now in these days in the digital age, you know what I mean? You know, what we get ready to show today, you know what I'm saying? This song is it was a song that was written 20 years ago. So this is a part of our United Souls anthology project that we're putting together. And that's going to be a cooked up meal that you know what I'm saying, it's been thawing out for 20 plus years.
It's just an old
you know
recipe that you just, you know, you might not have the same brand that you did 30 years ago that you made a cake with, but it's the recipe that was used by this person back then. And now we're going to take it and do it in today's, you're going to do it in the microwave, not in the oven, you know what I'm saying? So it's all we're doing now, man. We're just using the recipes that we've known for a long time, and we're gonna, you know, keep cooking chicken the same way. You're just using this, you know, the same recipe, but you got, you know, a fryer now. You're not cooking on the stove. Yeah, you're just updating everything. That's all it is, man. So.
All right. Well, one I want to ask you, because I know you both have had quite a. Speaking of having decades of music and performances under your belt and recorded works as well. Just if you can, your favorite performance or a memorable performance that sticks out that you think of fondly. I think everybody's got one or two that, you know, replays, and a lot of them get mixed in the shuffle, but I know there's one or two where you go, for better or for worse, that's one of my performances that really sticks in my memory.
You got one?
Yeah, man, I think it might have been, I don't know if it was the first or the second time we played at the Nova.
I knew you could say that. That would get you every time. That was a good one, man.
Yeah.
Because it was nostalgic.
It was a story to be told, man. It was a time when you had to be there. But I'm gonna tell you a good one that was even before what we think about when we think about the Nova. We introed like our past. We introed with a marching band. You know what I'm saying? Like our intro was to come in with a drum line. And I was dressed as a drum major, and we had majorettes and the whole nine, United Souls, 6-piece on stage, and it was a collabo, you know what I'm saying, type joint, and we kind of just forgot to tell the Northern staff about that part. So
you're gonna need a few extra mics.
Yeah. So, you know, if anybody knows about big stages, you know, they want sound check hours and hours in advance so they can get everything right, and they go home and chill and come back. So as they're getting ready to set everything off, man, tweet, bah, in the front door, man, we come with the bass drums and the whole nine, man. So that was, I always remember that, man, but it turned out to be an amazing show, man. Yeah. We debuted a record. That was the night where I think we introduced the signing to VP Records that night. Yeah. So that whole show, man, was, you know what I'm saying, one of those that just stick with me. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds.
Well, I got a chance to play on.
And probably really epic sounding.
Yeah. Getting a chance to play on Family Man's bass rig. We did a bunch of shows with the Wailers. So, of course, I got to use his bass rig, and he comes over and says, if you want more bass, just push this button. So, before I pushed the button, I hit the string, and I almost rattled my guts out. And I was like, get that button away from me, man.
Yeah. No buttons to that. If I got this behind me.
I don't want no more bass. I found it.
We want more bass.
Yeah. So, yeah, I've had so many shows. All of them are great. You know, even the bad ones.
You learn from those.
The bad ones are funny because there's a story that you can tell, and it wasn't great at the time, but it's a great story at the same time, you know.
Oh, yeah. The bloopers, are funny to think about later.
King Iola, you know.
Yeah.
Those shows where you got the machine gun to your head, like Play or Die, you know. been there. Like,
there's a what do you want to call it? A lot of subgenres of reggae music. And speaking of shows that you've been in over the years, what are some of the favorite styles to play live? Like, do you prefer to play roots or lovers rock? Or are you dancehall guys? If you blend, what are some of the things you grab for, kind of off the shelf?
With our show, it always, a lot of people that play with us on the fly, get bugged out because we don't use a set list. You know what I mean? It's all in what the crowd is vibing on. We can go in the crowd and we see a bunch of older people with sweaters and hard shoes on. We go to our old school stuff. We see quite a few white folks, you know what I mean? And we'll shoot in our little rock and roll style, to try to blend everybody in. But it normally goes towards what our crowd is egging for, And so, you get in a place where just wants roots. And then that's all they want. Then you just give them your root show and they love it. You know what I mean?
What do you prefer to play if you had to, another gun to your head situation? What would you choose if you had to pick a few styles? Like, are you a dancehall fan? If so, are you like a 90s guy? Do you like the rubber dub kind of stuff?
I guess I could say lovers rock is my favorite along with roots. But lovers rock and roots is what I came into reggae on.
Any particular artists that really stick with you?
The Dennis Brown, Gregory Isaac, Freddie McGregor, as far as lovers rock. And then roots, you got the culture, you got Israel Vibration, Steel Pulse.
I know you're big Is Vibes. Every time I go to the crib, Israel Vibrations live shows are playing on the screen.
Is Vibe, man. That's Roots Radic, which provided a lot of reggae for us. So they backed up 1,000 folks, guys.
And that's where I came in, you know what I'm saying, on the Roots Radic kind of vibe.
Yeah.
And, what I'm saying, listening, the different artists that they produced.
Yeah.
And, what I'm saying, falling in love with those artists and realizing, oh, it's this same band or it's these couple bands.
It's them or like Sly and Robbie.
Yeah.
Everything.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, but if I had my preference, it'd be Roots rock all night, man. Roots. But, you know what I'm saying, like you said, we always approach our set like a DJ.
Yeah.
You come in with all the crates.
Yeah.
And the big hard drive, but you got to work the crowd.
You're playing for the people.
You got to play for the people, man. So, you know what I'm saying, there's been songs, we laugh and joke, you know what I'm saying, when cats come on, do you know any Shaggy? It's like, Shaggy. If they want it, you know what I mean? I ain't feeling it, but it's like, you know what I mean? So, you know what I'm saying, like, if I had my choice, man, it would be what the people want, man.
But what we always want to do as a reggae band or as a band, period, is, and a lot of people realize that we're not a strict reggae band. We're a reggae band that will bring reggae fans. Like, you don't have to like reggae to like us. You don't have to be a reggae fan to like United Souls. Because when, we've got it just right. You don't just like, a curry sandwich, you know what I mean? Curry meal. You don't have to be Jamaican to like curry, you know what I mean?
Yeah, good music is good music.
Good music is good music.
I feel that. All right, so just to kind of veer off course for a bit, and only a couple more questions, but this is one I definitely wanted to ask. I know you've done music and poetry nights through Refinement Studios. Could you kind of give just viewers an idea of what your studio is intending to do? Is it mostly music? Are you going to be producing promos for artists? What's the game plan or the mission for Refinement Studios, and what can we look out for right now currently?
Yeah, man, Refinement Studios is all that and some. It's audio, video, production, post, pre, photography. You know what I mean? And right now, the project, a few projects on the plate. Of course, like you said, music and poetry night. It was a platform that we would do like an open mic open mic in person pre-COVID. And so now we've really taken hold of the virtual platform. So just giving artists a chance to be spotlight for a night, whatever you do, music, poetry, lyrics, dance, you know what I'm saying, that kind of vibe. But I'm producing a couple of podcasts. I got a couple of artists that are eager to get their stuff out there, and they making moves, and we're recording podcasts. I got a couple of clients. She's got purpose. She's doing a big woman's empowerment kind of vibe, man. We're doing a lot, man. We're bringing, you know what I'm saying, like, if you really understand what the word refinement is, man, like, that's how you bring coal to a diamond. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah. So all the artists, man, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, type in Refinement Studios, man. Connect with that if you're trying to get stuff refined, man, blown up bigger than life. You know what I'm saying? This is what we do. Yeah.
Please check out Refinement Studios, and I appreciate you having me on as a guest recently.
Man, and
Thank
always
you.
welcome back,
For real.
Yes.
This is one of those things that's hard, and it's kind of how I wrap up a typical interview. But mission statements are hard. If you give a concise, small chunk about what your music is supposed to accomplish, and don't think you're being conceited or whatever by saying, well, I want my music. Every artist has something good that they want their music to do. What is it that you want it to do? Do you want it to entertain? Do you want it to uplift people? Is it to get kids interested in playing instruments? Is it to get emotions out of you? What is the real drive of the music, and why do you produce what you produce? What is United Soul's goal?
I would say United Soul's goal is to make people comfortable wherever they are, and make people feel comfortable with expressing however they feel. You know what I'm saying? Like, because those are the influences that we've taken in, man. Like, we've talked about rock, we've talked about reggae, we've talked about hip hop, and all of that is within me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if I want to put out a little bit of that, just know that I'm comfortable with that, and I want you to feel comfortable vibing with it. And you know what I mean? Like, I just want people to just know that whatever they're feeling inside, if it's positive and it feels like it's right, let it out.
And you're welcome here.
And you're welcome here. Yeah, man.
It's like with us, when I look back at the history of the band and everything, we was a band that created our own underground movement. Like, we made our own underground music scene in this area, and we wanted to stay underground. We didn't want to be mainstream. So one of our first mission statements on our first record was that we come to cleanse the minds of the maggots of those infected by the virus mass media. You know, that infects the, people with all this crazy knowledge and advertisements and all that. And we came underground to where it's not all frills. It's the underground. It's the what is it? The moonshine. It's the It's the underground that you can't just get in the store.
Coquito.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, by the way, thank you for that as well.
It's that homemade. It's that homemade
homegrown
cookie. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Well, as underground as you guys, as you say, I think you're downplaying how influential you've been in here, and you guys have been pillars of reggae. And I think when I was a kid, I knew your name as far as reggae bands around here were before I knew maybe Nature's Child up there too. But before I started doing my own.
Those
thing,
are cousins. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
those
family as well.
Yeah, we've all been through the same.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to George and D. Need to come on one of
George
these
and D,
segments. I'll be linking you
Come on,
soon.
do it, man.
Yeah, but yeah, and then last thing, if you guys could, what are some releases that you got coming out soon, or what's something maybe you've released currently that you want people to check out and listen to and bump in their cars?
Yeah, man. Uncock Your Gun is probably the one that I would point you to, man. United Souls, Uncock Your Gun. That one will take you to everything else we got popping, man. The anthology is brewing up. And we got the anthology coming and the podcast vibe, United Souls, Searching for United Souls, spring 2021. So pretty much, man, just don't stop looking for us. Don't stop searching. You know what I mean? And you're going to find some dope stuff, man. Yeah.
That's thank you guys for coming by,
man.
for real.
Bless you, T.
Thank you.
Bless you, man. I hope y'all enjoy the track, man. And you know what I'm saying? Just know that it was done right here in King Street Records, man. And
I had to doodle it on.
Yeah. It was a good cue
12
card.
years old.
It's a good cue card right there. You know what I mean? And man, this studio right here, man, cooks up like none other, man. So we appreciate the vibes. We appreciate, you know what I'm saying, the works to come, you know?
Yeah,
Thank you. I appreciate y'all bringing your talents through. Be sure to stick around. We're about to drop a new tune. It's called, not a new tune, but a classic redone King Street Record style of a classic United Souls tune called Try Ja Love. I hope you enjoy it. And thank you once again to United Souls.
Jaja love and see what you get. Try the Almighty love and see what you get. Try Jaja love and see what you get. Try Jaja love. As I was sitting looking out of my window, yeah, I saw a bad man problem ego, with broken heart and shattered ego. They were lost and didn't know where to go. The message I bring, try Jaja love and see what you get. Try Jaja love and see what you get. Try the Almighty love and see what you get. Try Jaja love. Jah love lifted me in a very special way. And when I feel I can't see, He displays. Try Jah Jah Jah.
Thanks again for tuning in to Double the Week. Big shout out to Gabe Diaz of United Souls and Mr. Ed Dredd of United Souls for coming through and doing an amazing song. They got a huge catalog of music. It's currently online. I'll put links to their stuff below so you can follow them. And bless them, guys, and thank you for coming through with a massive track. That one's called Try Jah Love, and there's the original of that is also on YouTube as well. So please go on and peep that, give it a listen, and spread it. For your gear talk for the week, as I use this particular keyboard's patches, I'll be submitting kind of, this won't be the only one done on this particular piece of gear, but it's the Yamaha Mx49. It is considered a all-around inclusive keyboard workstation. It can be used as a MIDI controller. You can use, my favorite part about it is that the patches have their own little buttons. So you have an organ one, piano, and that's pretty typical for most pianos or keyboards, but as you press each one, you can load your preset of which favorite patch you like in each one. So that way you're not scrolling through LED screens or worried about spilling water on a screen or smudging it or something like that. And during a set, if you just remember what order things are in, you don't even have to look at the names and you just hit the button and it'll go to your favorite preset under that particular category. So I thought for live situations, the fact that it's light and it has that option as well to kind of quickly go through your favorite presets is one of the things that makes it great. On the upper right hand side or left hand side, you'll have a way to manipulate your tones, so pass filters and reverb and stuff like that. It's really loaded. It is technically a synth. I don't think it's necessarily as modeled as such. Compared to like the JDXI, which I've reviewed before, it doesn't have the same synth abilities, but it does have, like the pass filters aren't as great, but I think one of the greatest things about this is having all your presets already set up when you go for your show and just being able to hit the buttons really quick rather than scrolling through stuff or, trying to find things on a screen and spilling sweat and water on it. And it's more of a gigging keyboard, but it's also brilliant for home studio use. So I use it for everything. I think the lightweight is what makes it really appealing. And so check it out. That's the MX49. I used it for some of the drums. I used it for the piano. I used it for the wah effect. And the bass is actually a small cab setting from that, and greasy organ patch is what it's called. And I use that one quite a bit. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked how it sounded. And as I test more things out, occasionally I'll use the baritone patch or the flute patches. They sound great. And I'm going to kind of be sampling those into rhythms as we do this double the week thing. And so the MX49 will return, especially because it's around $500, which is an incredible price for a synth and home workstation combo and gigging keyboard with amazing patches in it. And if I'm not mistaken, it has a lot of the motif patches in it, which is what is a big appeal for buying this particular keyboard. So check it out, MX49. I'm going to be demoing it later with some different patches so you can hear some other stuff. But for today, we used it just for bass keys and drums. And horns were done real regular trumpets, but you'd be surprised how good some of the horns sound on this, especially the baritone. So yeah, Yamaha Mx49. We'll be bringing it back again to show you more patches from it. But I used that to develop the rhythm today, and I love it. It's a great keyboard, super lightweight and easy to use. This is your top-notch dub watch. This week's top-notch dub watch is Roots Radics and King Tubby's Dangerous Dub. There's a couple engineers on there, King Tubby and Josh Screw, and there's a little bit of lore that maybe Scientist was turning the pass filter on a couple jams. You'll recognize some of the tunes, Country Gal, Symbolic Dub. I think Heavenless is on the first. So you definitely, like most dub albums, recognize a lot of the licks, but they've been reworked completely. With Flabber Holt and Styles Scott running things, bass lines are as good as it gets with Flabber Holt. And you'll notice some of the bright skanks and the bright piano chops, not so much dark and impending doom, but kind of bright and open. That you hear from a lot of King Tubby's and Scientists productions. It's one of my favorites. I don't know how I got slipped under the radar, but for some reason I stumbled upon it late, and I'm sharing it with you. For people who are in dub music, I'm sure you've heard this album, but it's a classic. I hope you dig it. Once again, that's Dangerous Dub. Please check it out. Keys and guitars, Dwight Pickney, Noel Bailey. Some of the greats are on the album. All the greats are on the album. All the guys on there are great, I mean. And please check it out and push that. Thank you again to VB Reggae, to Shoreline Music Valet, to C&B Reggae and Rising Vibes for all you guys are doing to keep the music alive right now and keep us out there working, eating, and pushing our art and expressing ourselves. So thank you. And thank you big time to Ed Dredd and I-Gabe United Souls for coming through with a massive tune. And they're going to have more and more stuff on YouTube, so please, and Spotify and things. So please check them out. I got links for them below. And tune in next week for more Dub of the Week here at King Street Records. Thanks.
Ja, 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 ja.